Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you like college football as much as I do. As much as this pains me to say it, I'm a Texas fan. I don't see Texas pulling off this win over Alabama. Not in Alabama, you know. And people talk about how Quinn Ewers was lighting up Alabama's secondary. Yes and no. Yeah, he was, but that was early in the game. Who's to say he would have done that for 4 quarters? And then when you saw him come back from his injury against Oklahoma, everybody thought, oh, he's amazing. Here's the problem. Everybody threw the football on Oklahoma, okay? So what? Outside of that, what did he do with anybody he played? You know? And I really don't buy into that injury excuse. I really don't, because he still came back. He's a good athlete. He's clearly got a strong arm. The only excuse that I can really see is that he wasn't ready. He was still a freshman, but that was his second year in college, so there's really no excuse for him to play as bad as he did. You know? You got quarterbacks like Jordan Travis, Hendon Hooker, who run the ball too a lot. They were getting dinged up all year up until Hendon got hurt. But you know what I mean. They were able to perform very well. So I don't really buy into all that. He's making millions at Ohio State just to sit at the bench. And I'm imagining he got more than that to go to Texas and play for Texas. So I really don't buy into all that. I'm not a big believer in Quinn Ewers. I never have. And until I see anything special consistently, I never will. They lost Bijan Robinson. Now, I imagine they got running backs, but I don't think you'll get anything close to that. I mean, they had Bijan last year, and they still couldn't run the ball. So I'm imagining they won't be able to. I imagine they'll be very one-dimensional in this game, and it's in Alabama. And while Texas' offensive line is bringing back most of their players, they didn't play bad. Not that they couldn't block, but I saw a lot of dumb penalties, false starts, holding, you know, a lot of dumb stuff that comes from coaching. So I don't expect that to be cleaned up too much. It's the same coaching staff for Texas. And they're not pushing Alabama around up front. Nobody does. Even when Alabama didn't play great last year, it wasn't the defensive front. It was that secondary giving up explosive plays. But I do think their new defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele, is going to fix all that. If Bama's not the best, it's going to be one of the top 5 defenses in the country. It's usually very, very good. I think Bama's defense will go back to something close like it was in 2016, 2017. Lots of defensive stops, a lot of turnovers, defensive touchdowns, a lot of stuff to help their offense. While I don't think Alabama's offense will be great or as explosive as it was with Tua or even Mac Jones or Bryce Young, I do think it'll be a run-heavy team, but I do think they'll be able to execute well with throwing the football. Imagine a more developed Jalen Hurts when he went to Oklahoma playing quarterback for Alabama. Pretty good arm, pretty accurate, can run, very strong. Whether it's Tyler Buckner or even Jalen Milroe as the quarterback, I mean, I think you'll get about the same with either guy. Just obviously the better guy is going to play. So I don't really know who's going to play quarterback for that, but that's not what this video is about. I think Alabama will play an okay game. They're not going to be explosive offensively or anything like that, but they'll be good enough because I don't see them turning the ball over at all. They'll be okay with putting the football, winning the battle of field position, like Alabama used to do. Because Texas's defense ain't no slouch. I know that. They got great athletes. They tackle well. They're very disciplined. But I think Texas's inability to score points and move the ball and probably turn the ball over, because Quinn Ewers likes to overthrow guys against a very talented and stout Bama defense this year is what I'm expecting. I think that'll be the difference in the game. Again, and then while I don't expect Bama's offense to be prolific or like a juggernaut offense like it has in the past, it'll be good enough to where it doesn't cost them games. They can manage the game while the defense wins it with the turnovers, the touchdowns, simple things, you know. And plus, I just don't see Sarkisian out coaching Nick Saban. It's not going to happen. Yeah, they had a close game at home against Alabama. Guess what? Alabama had a close game with everybody on the road. So I don't really see that as anything special anymore. So with that being said, I think Bama's going to be much better coached. They have the home field advantage. I think as a team, they're going to be more disciplined. They'll just be a superior team than Texas. And Texas is going to disappoint everybody, including me. I'm a Texas fan, so I can say this. They're going to disappoint again. And they're going to prove, hey, they're a pretty good team. They're respectable, but they're not an elite team. And I just don't trust Sarkisian. I mean, he has made questionable calls. You know, like throwing the football when you're in field goal range to kick a field goal and win the game, or sending it into overtime and getting picked off. You know, not being able to move the ball offensively or even score, let alone score, with Quinn Ewers, who's supposed to be worth millions. So with that being said, I just don't think it's. And here's the thing: Alabama should win this game like they did with Washington in 2016 and Florida State 2017. evenly matched, very talented on both sides. But I think Bama's defensive line, that line of scrimmage will be the difference. And I think that Texas' offense will be stifled. And they're making Texas's defense get tired like Washington's and Florida State's did, to where Bama will get to move the ball and pull away with a big victory. I think Bama wins this game with no problems, 31-13, maybe even 35-14, something like that. That's my opinion. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your coach isn't doing their job, if you can't run the ball successfully and you're forced to be one-dimensional with a quarterback who struggled a lot last year and will probably struggle again this year, and you got a great defense, but the other team is good offensively and defensively, the team that's more complete wins the game. Bama, big.